Now we're back with Utrecht. Is that how you say it? Utrecht? Yep. 8th place Ascent winner, Wilson. Also runner-up world champion, like top 4, was it? Top 8.
When we started.
Oh, look, it's a long time ago. And you just won the regionals yesterday in Christchurch.
After flying back.
Yeah. Literally flew back, landed at 9 o'clock, straight up to regionals and won. Took it out. Well, no, we're going to go through your deck with you, and you're going to just tell us a bit about it as you go through it, show us what you got about, and some of your gameplays, you know?
Sure.
Want to take us away with your beautiful deck?
Yeah, so obviously the spirit that we won, that's not the only spirit we took back to New Zealand. Glenn, who traveled with us.
World champ Glenn.
Yeah, world champ. He finished top 4, so we brought 2 of this spirit back. So his one is 4th, my one is 8th.
New Zealand being cracked, let's go.
Yeah, and obviously back of Charger and the Finalist Wilson Yip. Yeah, so the deck I'm playing is of course Merlin, my signature deck. No, jokes.
Sleeves tell everything.
Yeah, sleeves tell everything, right? So, yeah. I'm playing Wind Arisanna, which is, for people who know me, I like to run level 3 champions. So obviously during the World Championship season, I was running Merlin. Last season I was running Tristan, and then now Arisanna, all level 3.
Oof.
Yeah, I love Dungeon Guide, right?
Hey, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Okay, so do we just go straight into it?
Yeah, bro. Start us off.
Okay.
We'll start with your material deck. Show us
Material
what you got.
deck, yeah. So we start with, sadly not the Spirit of Wind, but the Fragmented Spirit. So I can't run this.
Come on, Weeds, bring us that CPR.
Yeah, for us, yeah. It's really important for Wind Arisanna because it's more like kind of right deck back then, right? Like you run lots of arcane cards, so this one you run lots of extra cards, so you don't want to break on it.
And because you can get to level 3 quite easily for that Spirit Shard, can't you?
Yes, yeah. And sometimes you can crack your Spirit Shard when you're level 1 as well, quite easily in this deck. Just need a bit of luck, which is 133% chance times 2. It's quite a lot, it's more than 50% chance. Yeah, Arisanna 1, 2, 3, nothing much to say there. Level 3 we run the Star Calling one. I think everyone runs the Star Calling one for this. Yeah, basically you try to kill them with Cosmic Bolt. That's the whole idea of the deck with the new Proxia card, right? With the Astral Regalia we run the Cosmic Astral Scroll, which is the key card because it lets you glimpse 3 every turn.
Yeah, which has actually become a lot more playable now because of this deck.
Yes.
And obviously we just found out today through the dev stream how to get the CPR version.
Yeah.
Mate, that's going to be spice.
Yeah, so I just need to judge some regionals next season and then I'll get that. And then the other extra card we run is the Lunar Conduct. You don't usually go into this in most games, but this situation, sometimes you go into it and just win your games. It's pretty hard for your opponents to interact with it unless they destroy it. But if they destroy it, they will target your scope or your other cards first.
Understandable.
Yeah. That's half the material deck. Second half are all long cards. The key card in the deck is probably Polaris.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
And basically, you always want this to go off.
Yeah.
You can still win games without this, but it's just much slower and much harder as a grinding match. I think it was round 1 with you.
Round 1.
He popped the Polaris, and then it was like 40 minutes game 1 or something.
Yeah, it was long.
I still managed to take it out, but it's just much slower without this. More of the so this kind of go with each other. You want to generate herbs in this deck, and what's better to do it with this card? Like obviously you got your level 1, level 2 champion that you get your 4 herbs from, and then after that, this is where you can get herbs every turn, and then the necklace is just like a free version of this, which you can bring out. Sometimes you don't need it, but a lot of the time when you can glimpse 7 without playing a single card from your hand, it just helps you win and you keep all your influence. Final 3 cards is more like flex spot, but the only defensive card I run is Lantern in the main deck, which I think in this meta is really good.
so good.
I think against water deck, the only card I really care about to stop is Tidal Lock.
Yeah.
Just because if they pay 3, is
So you're not too worried about Icebound Slam?
No.
Dang, okay.
I mean, yeah, Icebound Slam is not relevant because you no, when I say stuff
irrelevant. Icebound Slam is not needed. Who cares?
So, in late game, you don't care if they Icebound Slam you.
Yep.
In early game, you won't have this in out first turn or anything, so you can't stop Icebound Slam anyway.
Understandable.
Is in this deck, you kind of have to go to level 1, turn 1.
Yeah.
And then, final last 2 cards is Draw Power, right? Backup Charger, GCR.
Crazy. And we just got that second backup charger.
Yeah.
So now we can have 3 lots of draw power. Well, not
Oh, yeah,
really,
the
but
one that-
the
the
one they're
one-
going to announce.
Yeah, the
today.
one that was announced. Yeah.
Like- Because what do you need when you play this game?
Yeah.
More draw power.
It was strange because when I first played this deck,
Yeah.
I was kind of discussing with one of my mates in Auckland and stuff, and then he was like, "Oh, I want to make room for one more defensive card where that is the Water Trinket or Safeguard Amulet
Yeah.
or even Tariff Ring because in Auckland we have lots of allies around,
Oh.
and he was like, it was like either cutting the necklace or backup charger.
Yeah.
But then most games I go into, I kind of find you need the extra influence a lot. Yeah. So I don't think I will cut any of these 2 cards, even though you don't use them every game, but you still use them enough, you want to keep both of them.
And when something looks as good as that backup charger, you can't cut it. You've got to keep it there.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so that's the regular, which I think is the same for most Wind Arisanna these days.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at most of the Ascent lists as well, or regionals, most of them is just identical 12 cards at the moment. Main deck?
Yep, now, so we're on
Off
to
to
the
the main deck.
Oh, it's the spicy stuff.
Level 3 decks, of course, 3 dungeon guides.
Whoa, Dungeon Guides.
I mean,
what
four.
thought.
Yeah, I was like, hold on.
Used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So 3 is the play set,
yeah.
but 4 dungeon guides, you need it, you want to see it. Yeah, every time you glimpse at the start, you hopefully want to see one of these. Sometimes 2 is not bad as well, but you always want to see one.
Yep.
And then we would run 7 floating in the deck. I think Fast Kill is one of the, I wouldn't say MVP, but probably one of the really strong card in the deck because your influence is so low. There's many times you just heal 4, level up.
Yeah, no. Fast Kill is a VIP.
Even in mid to late game is really strong. You need like a floating to get into this for free. It's really strong, without banishing your resources. Talking about low influence at the start and get advantage, obviously, the gentle. That's I think 3 is the good ratio. You don't want to run 4 with this. It can be really like after the early game, it's kind of you don't need it as much.
Yeah.
Talking about building your influence as well. Apart from that, I run 3 endorsements. This kind of in the early game, it kind of add as a gentle, so you're kind of running 6 copies anyways.
Yeah.
That's also why I don't run 4 of this. It can be break key as well.
So the indolent leisure, do you get much of it off during your games? Because I feel by the time you're level 3, unless using the things, it just feels obsolete to pay 3 for something like this.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. Like, it depends on matchup. If you're playing a slower matchup, even when you get to level 3, you know that you will survive a turn or 2, then you play that for sure.
Yeah.
Just to build your influence. But even if there's a slightest chance you will die next turn, I don't play it. So
okay,
usually I play it before level 3, but in certain matchup, like mirror match and stuff, you can afford to play it even at level 3.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are many ways, just like Gentle, you can usually play that as early as turn 2 most of the time, depending on what else you have. Turn 2 or turn 3, I usually play it at turn 3 because I like to protest my Polaris, so I want to keep my hands for that. Yeah. So that's kind of like the floating or generating influence cards. Yeah, so combined with this, the Lex cards that helps is the Charm. Technically, you don't need 4 Charm in this deck. It's that useful once you get into late game. But there's an extra card I play is combo really well with this card, which is not seen in most other extra lists or most other Arisanna lists at the moment. So I still play a full playset of this, which I think is really good. If you don't get one of your starting card that you kind of want, this helps you. This helps you go to level 1, level 2, level 3, because this is literally
right. Yeah, because at level 1 you can use this to play the indolent leisure,
and you don't lose the influence. You just it's like the forest cake.
It cycles as itself, doesn't it? It just draws into memories.
Yeah. So even if you have a breaky hand, you play this, you can guarantee yourself to level 2 or level 3 even without dungeon guide. So I still run the playset. Then we, because level 3 is Star Calling with Glimpse, so we run lots of Glimpse card. The first 4 is the Barrier. I think this is one of the weakest card in deck.
Really, the weakest?
Yeah. I don't use this a lot. Usually when I have to use it, I'm kind of in a situation, I'm in a losing situation. I need to rely on Glimpse to make a comeback. Obviously it does help prevent damage. With Charm, you can prevent 6 damage quite easily. If you have both Charm and Herb, it can stop a lot of damage and you Glimpse free, which is really good. But most of the time, I usually win games without playing a single one of this card. Because you have so many other ways to Glimpse that replace itself as well. Yeah. Talking about the best best Glimpse card, the Wisdom here, like this is literally your best card in the entire game. You Glimpse free, draw into memory, fast speed. You can break.
Cost 1.
Cost 1. You can play this whenever you want. This is the card you always see. If you Glimpse into this, you always leave this on the top card of your deck, so you make sure you draw into it so you can Glimpse more with it. This is the card I value the most in the entire deck.
Dang.
But
you get a lot of value off that one though.
Yeah. And then last 2 long cards, which is kind of flat spotless. Scry the Skies, the original Glimpse card. This is a skill, not a spell, so you can combo it with like the Charm.
Right.
But literally, this is just the slow version of Wisdom, right? You Glimpse free, draw into memory. I almost side out this every single game. But it's still really good.
Scry the Skies is one of those classic cards. You've just got to have it.
Yeah. If you have an awkward hand at the start, right? This can get you to level 1 and 2 as well. By itself. So if it plays itself, so you're not really losing out on the influence. And that's why I think those kind of are more impactful than this. And if you're in a control situation where you control pretty well already, you don't need that defensive option on this, and you use extra card as your main defensive option.
Okay.
Not bad. Win card, I run 12 win cards here, so it's a little bit more than what you see in Wind Arisanna, but I think having playset of each is really good. So first one is Fertile Grounds, which is probably the card you always want on your first hand. If you have this, you're pretty much...
Interesting.
Pretty much, I wouldn't say you win the game already, but you have a really good start because if you can get to level 2 really early on, if you have this and a dungeon guy in hand, you get to level 2 in turn 2, you literally, it's a GCR each turn already, you draw.
Dang.
Because it just keep copying your herbs. Most of the time you only play 1, but if there's games you can afford to put 2, it's really strong just because of the new negate card, which I'm going to show later, which can utilize the herbs as well. Free Wizard, I think this is probably I would say the MVP of the entire deck. At first I start with 3 and I saw some lists also play 3, but literally very early on I changed it to 4 because you always want to see this early game, and join multiple is not a bad thing. You can banish it to level up, you still get the banish effect. In lots of games you can use more than 1 Free Wizard, so even if you have 2 in your hand, you play 1 really early to just keep your health there. Like you heal 6 and then you do the second recycle, you literally heal 12 and Glimpse 12. Even in the early game, Glimpsing is really good because you don't want to draw into cards you don't want. You can Glimpse and then still draw and then healing at the same time. So it kind of make your early game really nice, and you can also choose what you want to banish for DG and stuff like that, right? You can stack like Cosmic Bow at the start, so you put like 2 Cosmic Bow and something for DG. If they banish 2 Cosmic Bow, nice. Your next one going for 8.
Yeah. That's probably good that they've errated it to make the resting cost, because before it was just...
Yeah. But even then, this is yeah, really strong. Like some grindy games, if you see 3 of this, you just win. Like how you just keep healing, right? In this deck, yeah.
And it also saves your turn if you're versing, say, water and they do mill you.
Yeah.
If you got one of them in your banishment,
Yeah.
just save. You can just,
Yeah.
I've drawn my card.
Yeah.
Well, bam, kill.
Yeah. All right. The last win card I play is a card you don't see a 4 of in Wind Ari. In most Wind Ari lists I've seen, you don't even, and some of them run 0 card pieces as well, which I find
Which is bonkers
yeah.
to me.
I also like.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it is. A playset of Zephyr. This is insanely strong to protect your Polaris. So that's why I say usually I go to turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after the first turn I bring out level 1, then I bring Polaris out, I would keep my whole hand. Usually that whole hand would be anywhere between 5 or 6 influence.
Okay.
The only reason I do that is with water decks, they have Fracturized, they have Force Spine.
Right.
So I make sure my Zephyr can play through both Fracturized and Force Spine.
Yeah.
Obviously I can't play through double Fracturized unless I have double Zephyr.
Yeah.
But I mean, the chance I have double Zephyr is also the chance of them having double
2
Fracturized.
Fracturized.
Yeah.
And against Water Arisanna Mill or Water Sylphid Mill that doesn't go into nickel,
Yeah.
sometimes even without Zephyr, I just bring this out and let them fracturize it if they have it. If they don't,
Okay.
you don't care, then you just get all your Cosmic Bow. If they fracturize it, then you literally have a free memory to use for enough, because you play this out for free, right? We don't use anything. You just go to level 1, bring it out, and then the deck has enough damage to kill through 19 health.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just Nico, especially if they use the Syrian 31 health, that becomes kind of a problem. You do want that to go through if that's the case, to help you win faster. And another big synergy with this card is Dungeon Guide. So usually if you don't need this to defend your Polaris, which to be honest, more than half the time you don't need to, but it's just that safety option.
Yeah.
You can DG to 2, Zephyr to 3.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, even on the same turn if you want, or you can keep it as a defensive option if they try to do anything with DG as well. Most people will ignore it, but some people will be like, oh, that extra damage on board will add up, and then they just want to get rid of it. Then that becomes a really
Which
good
is
play.
nice as well, because it means that you're not behind a material.
Yeah.
Like you're free casting all your material cards during your main, which, allows you to play your other stuff.
Yeah, and this combo also goes really well as you guarantee the 2 card you banish.
Yeah, yeah.
As well, like in case, like let's say you got nothing in your memory at the moment, you just play Zephyr and then you just banish those 2 to level up.
Yeah.
2, and then you can keep all your extra card, because literally more than half the deck is fast speed, so you just play everything on your opponent's turn. And there's 40 cards, so the last 20 cards are all extra.
Okay.
Best extra card, extra side. This card is insane value if you glimpse into it, because it just become a +1 at that point.
Yeah.
Not just a +1, it can be more than a +1, because if you glimpse into another star calling card, you can play that and you still get the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you glimpse into 2 of this, your influence go up a lot. I think there was one game I just went from 4 to 9 influence in 1 turn.
Dang.
I like glimpse into 2 of this, and then I draw at the end phase with second 2 herbs, and then you got the GCL or backup charger, one of those to add. So so you literally +5 influence in that turn. Star calling, the key card obviously, Cosmic Bolt. We play 4 in main deck, and then as many as you want in your outside your deck. But
How many do you averagely shuffle into your deck in the end?
FH is usually 6 in this deck, just because if you have Fertile Ground, basically once you get to level 2, you have 6 herbs to stack off. It depends on game to game. Sometimes even if I have more than 6 herbs, I don't stack more than that, because it's really consistent already if you can put 6 of this in your deck.
Yeah.
And sometimes the herbs have other synergies with other cards, which I'll go through it soon. This is the very weird one, but I still decide to run 4 just because at my at my locals in Auckland where it's allies heavy still,
Yeah.
and this card it's a board wipe. 4 damage is also relevant. Like 4 of this is 16 damage already, without cosmic bow. So that's why sometimes if your Polaris is gone, you can still win games with cosmic bow and this.
Yeah.
Between those two. But this card is the worst card to draw just because it's 5 costs. Even Star Calling is only 2. But you have ways, right? You have herbs that can put it back at the bottom of your
Yes,
deck.
yeah.
Or you can just banish it to level up with DG and stuff like that. It's not the end of the world if you draw it, but it just sucks to draw. But I still run 4 just for the board wipe. And we run a whole bunch of negates card in this deck. So
Why not?
4 extra seal, yeah. They are better version of all the water negates, right? Because your opponent have no options. It's just an ink cap that stop more than action cards. It stop every single card. Yeah,
And it's free if they've got something in benchman, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's free. Yeah, so yeah.
So much value off that.
The other negate card is the new card, the HolySamurai. I think I would bump this to 3 or 4, to be honest. This is really good. The only reason I think this is almost as good, or if not better than Extra Steel, is because you also gain 3 if you negate a card.
Oh.
Yeah, that's... And you can sacrifice your herb as well. So if you have a whole... But I think there was one game I was able to put double fertile out. I have 8 unused herbs and also holding 5 in hand. So basically, I don't even need to put any cards down to pay for this. Like
You can pay with just second herbs, can't you?
Yes, second herbs, yeah.
That's so good.
And so you negate and green free. And this combo really well with Extra Seal because the negate is also banished. So you always want to try to negate with this first green free and then your Extra Seal becomes free. Because most decks, if they want to win, they have a key card, right? Like in Slime, your Storm Slimes is the key card. I don't know, Razor Gale is Razor Gale. If they don't have it early on, they just shut down. So many
cards that you can just stop with it.
Yeah. Like if you stop one stratagem and then the other one is free, like it's so hard for them to come back. Especially those are heavy because they have to pay 6 to play it. And then once you stop it, that's also why my Lantern is mainly for title lock because if they pay 6 to play stratagem, it's a really heavy cost for them to pay another 3 for title lock. Yeah, so I just need to figure out what to cut to put maybe 1 or 2 more of this, but it's really... And then the last 2 cards is, I don't think I've seen any Ari deck play it not in the Ascent weekend that we play in anyways. When I check, I think there's only 1 other who top 32, but there's maybe 2 others who bubble out, but none of them play this card. It's Dawn's Reversal. Probably one of my favorite cards in this deck. Obviously not the MVP card in this deck, but this card is crazy just because you run 6 negates already. Could be 7 or 8 if I bump up the other one. But also there's so many water deck around as well, and they run negates. You got water allies with ink cap is also negate, Force Spine, the Serene Degree, Tidal Lock. It's just a lot out there. Even Mirror Match, right? Mirror Match, they negate you, then you cast this for free. And if you have a charm or 2, you can literally be Glimpse 5, deal 5 damage, or Glimpse 7, deal 7 damage.
Oh, because it's a spell, so it
Yes,
gains
it's
off
a spell.
their power.
Okay,
That's really good.
Yeah, so that's also why I keep the playset of that. But even Glimpse 3, do 3 damage is a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where the extra damage comes from, right? You not just Cosmic Bow, not just those 2, right? You also have this as the extra damage that most other decks don't run. And yeah, so even if they fracturize the Polaris, you're like, oh cool, I get the 1 extra memory, the extra fractal to use each turn, and then you can still kill them with other stuff. But this is really strong. Like, that's I think this card and Sapphire is probably what makes me top, I believe. I wouldn't say what made me top, but what makes this deck way more consistent than it is. And those are, I wouldn't say what other decks is missing, but that's what I find success for myself personally. And I think the results showed it's the right choice because I'm the only Wind top 8. I mean, I'm the only win player who top 8 the Ascent. Yeah. Because it's 6 water, 5 water mill, and then I'm the only wind, and then Glen was the only fire.
Hey, look, it's just New Zealanders busting out
Yeah.
that unique stuff, you know?
Yeah.
We're not here to watermill people away.
Yeah, so that's the main deck, which I like very much. I don't know what to cut, but I would like to add more of this card. Like, that would be the only change I would make. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Do we need to go through the side as well? Or?
Yeah, let's go
okay.
through the
Just
side.
shoot through it pretty quick.
Okay.
Just quick
I
rough
only
ideas.
I only play one regret inside because it pick up 3 slots, so you don't want to be using too many. Just the water trinket, just because there's so many water around. But it's sometimes it can be situational. Like I find against water, I side this a lot, but I usually win without using this card most of the time. And I think most of the time I still prefer Lantern over this.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because mostly in my turn I don't do anything. I just star call and end.
Yeah.
Not star call, like glimpse, and try to do damage with one star call, and then I play everything in my opponent's turn, and that doesn't stop that anyway. The biggest reason you want to play in your opponent's turn is if they want to deal with your stuff, they're putting cards down into their memory as well. So if they try to interact with your stuff, they're losing their influence. That means in a way, it's kind of like you're attacking them, but you're also defending at the same time. And then once they put the influence down, they have nothing to defend when they get back to your turn.
Yeah.
So that's the only card I play. But it's so tight, there's nothing much you can take out anyway. Like sometimes, depending on situation, I take this out most of the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I take this out depending.
Just one of those situations.
One of those two, yeah. It's with all the water decks around, 4 of this. To be honest, this card actually sucks for me.
Hey, until next set. Set.
So the theory is, especially on day 2, everyone see each other deck list.
Yeah.
They know I'm going to sign 4 of this, so they may try to the better player, they will try to play around it.
Right.
They may side off some of their fractals, or they may just hold it, don't play it right away. They see, unless it's the fractal ring, they will still play it. But if it is the penguin, right, they wouldn't play it to let you pop it for free anyway.
Yeah.
But just having 4, and once you get to day 2, people see it, they have to whisper it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I still side them in anyway, but it's definitely one of the weaker card in the side deck. But I think it's necessary, but weaker card. Yeah. My MVP card in the side deck, which I think I don't know why other Wind Arisanna player is not playing this as well. I play a full playset of Spirit Recruit.
Hold up. Wait, what?
That's pretty special.
Hold on.
That's pretty special.
Self recruiting the side?
This is the MVP side deck for me. I think.
Okay, did not see that coming.
I think I side this in almost every single match I play in. It's just insane. Like against water deck, if they are not playing the Stirring Spirit, sometimes they ask you to go first because when you glimpse, you have only 6 cards.
Yeah.
They start with 8, so they can nice ones for you for free. But if you just stick this out, I mean, they have no choice. They start to play Iceburgg, right? Because they need to mill.
Yeah.
Then you get a free level 1. You stop 8 damage on the dot.
Dang. Okay.
Against allies, nothing to say. It's an intercept with floating. Just against lots of decks in general, you can side it in. And if they somehow just ignore it, then that means your life point is safe when you level up or when you blow your Polaris. If you blow your Polaris, you put a floating engrave anyway. So yeah, this card is I don't know why people is not playing it. I think the first build I won 3, but I bumped it to 4. I put in the full playset. It's just so good.
Crazy.
As I say, like in Auckland, there's lots of allies around as well, right? I think there's one game I have like 2 Spirit Recruit and a fast killer. That's like, yeah. So I think that's probably if people have to say what make my deck different from most deck, I would say Spirit Recruit. The whole playset of Spirit Recruit inside, the Dawn's Reversal, and the whole full playset of Zephyr as well. All right, so the final 4 cards in my side deck. Yeah, it's been a long day, long trip. I don't know why I keep this in the deck, but mainly at the start was to respect the extra allies in my local meta in Auckland, because it's another board wipe. But the other effect you draw into hand is actually quite relevant. It just destroy any card that's not champion. So basically it's just a card with no downside. It can pop any problematic card on the field. So if it's against Merlin, you can use that on Majesty Spirit. Even if you don't have Scattered Essence, that can technically pop Razor Gale.
Understandable.
It can pop. I mean, when you get to late game, you won't pop Threat of Ring. It's not that relevant, but it's just problematic card, right? It's not as useful now because Nico has that Temptation card that can redirect,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think one of my changes could be these two is Dawn's Reversal, and then I -1 Dawn Reversal for the Hurry counter in the main. That was what I'm thinking. But I don't know. It's in some weird deck that may come up, right? Because there's some problematic card. If you pop a Diana weapon, the Twin, it's also Shadow Twin is also pretty good, right? Oh yeah, talking about Diana, that Swiftly could save me against Diana aggro at one of the regionals of Ascent. It just
There you go.
yeah. And then the final two cards, which I will still keep in, is the Spell Show Astral. It's not as good at the moment, but against some decks who need to big damage to win, like Shadow Strike Tristan, a massive Storm's Line, massive Fireball. Like you can glimpse so much. You block the damage, and then you can glimpse so much, and then you can stack your whole deck to win next turn, pretty much.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, so that's my entire deck.
Definitely interesting to get an inside scoop to this deck. But yeah, I think that sideboard is what shook me the most. No.
Yeah.
Look, thanks for joining us today. It's great having you. It's great having you back in Christchurch for the weekend. You're off to Melbourne Ascent.
Yep, off to Melbourne.
Oh, look at that.
Not
I
sure
guess
what
I'll
I'm
see
playing
you.
yet.
I'll see you there. I'll take you out. It's okay. But you've got Athena, the Fire Spirit, Gwendolyn, the Wind Spirit. Now you just need to go to Melbourne and win that Water Spirit.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so it was quite a memorable weekend. Like we traveled with a few Kiwis, Josh, we go with Glenn and also Joe as well, and other Christchurch locals. Yeah, it was just been good to see like 4 Kiwis go to Ascent, 2 made top 8. That was really good conversion. It was a great weekend for sure. Yeah. And it's actually my first Ascent as well.
Yeah.
Even though I have been to World Championship and all that stuff. Because I've been just helping all the New Zealand Ascent, like the Auckland and Christchurch, so it was good to be able to play and then Ascent of my own. Yeah.
No, awesome. Well, best of luck on Melbourne Ascent. I'll see you there.
I'll see you there.
And hopefully we'll see what you bring, and maybe it's this, maybe it's something
something
different.
else. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Okay.